What's up, guys? In this video we're going to tell you what we think the perfect MCAT program would be, and we're going to answer some of the questions that you guys have been sending us.
If you didn't notice, we're in the same city. Maggie is on one of her away rotations and she did it at Wake Forest, where I'm in residency at. For those of you that don't know us, my name's John. I'm a 90th percentile MCAT scorer and also a first-year plastic surgery resident.
And I'm Maggie, and I was a 100th percentile MCAT scorer, and I am a fourth-year medical student.
So we've been talking a lot about kind of what the perfect MCAT prep program would look like. And that's primarily what this YouTube channel is based around. And we thought it would be fun to sit down and kind of workshop that out in front of you all. And then you should comment below what you think would be helpful and what you think wouldn't be so helpful. So basically, what would you want to see in an MCAT program? So I was looking at blueprints, basically. And I kind of looked at some things that I thought that they did really well. First thing, they have like 3 tiers, which are kind of nice. So they've got their self-study, which is basically just like their books and questions and stuff like that, and it's $1,200. It's like more expensive than almost everything we offer, but that's their like lowest tier thing. And then they have like, if you need a little bit more guidance, you want like some actual like live sessions, they have like this 515 plus one. And what I could find on, I basically like went through a lot of Reddits and student doctor networks and also used ChatGPT to help me with that. And what people liked was basically their analytics, and it said that their videos were like higher quality. They did say that the people weren't quite as attractive as those on IFD. But, oh my gosh, you're like a newscaster.
Me?
But, and then they really liked how you could like, how their schedule would automatically adjust. You know, the like calendar thing that we've talked about building?
Yeah.
So they liked how it would like automatically adjust for you if you skipped a day. But the biggest complaints were like, it was really expensive because the tutoring, like once you get to the tutoring packages, it's like for 40 sessions, it's almost $9,000.
Yeah.
And then the 515 plus, which is like, would be like our mastery session if we did our mastery program, but if you added a couple live sessions, it's almost $2,500.
Yeah.
So people complained about their price, and then people complained about their like guarantee policy, because it was like, I saw this one person that said that they didn't check off that they had watched one video, like literally one, and they didn't get a single dollar back. So that was like the 2 biggest complaints. And then I looked at the people that did really well with it, because a lot of people do well with pretty much any of them. And now we've made videos about that. And most of them used the AAMC products and UWorld. Mm-hmm. Like they were basically saying that they liked how Blueprint laid a good foundation for them to go to AAMC and UWorld, which is nice. But if you're paying $10,000 or $8,000, it's kind of like, I feel like you should get more than just foundation, you know?
Yeah. Also, you're going to have to pay for AAMC and UWorld on top of that to get that out of it. And I almost feel like maybe the AAMC and the UWorld was a larger driver of what increased their score. And I'm not saying like Blueprint doesn't do a good job. I just think that Blueprint sometimes is like the flashy one. Their analytics are really cool. The calendar's really cool.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. It's like, do the analytics actually help you increase your score, or are they just fun to look at?
Yeah, or do they make you feel like you're doing something?
Yeah. Even the ones that we offer, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, if you spend an hour looking at your analytics versus an hour taking some more questions or watching some more of our videos, which one's actually going to help your score more?
Yeah, exactly. Which I feel like is where we do well. We try to like cut all that stuff out.
Yeah.
But I think that that's a downfall of our prep, because people don't think that our stuff is like comprehensive in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, from a content standpoint, we're definitely like more in the high yield realm. But we get emails all the time that people use just our stuff and crushed it. Yeah. Because just our stuff is me and you teaching the sciences, me and you teaching the strategies, and then them taking a crap load of AAMC and all of UWorld. Yeah. Like, it's not just our stuff. Yeah, exactly.
But I agree with you. And you can see, like, that's one of my learning points, is that I think if we had, like, some kind of all-in-one ecosystem, then that would go a long way. But something that nobody else does that we do is, A, we solve the problem of the AAMC explanations suck. Right. And then B, we like have UWorld integrated into our ecosystem already. Yeah. And so if we could build like an all-in-one to where we do some of the things that the Blueprints, Kaplans, and Princetons of the world do really well, that we probably don't do quite as much because we think it's fluff.
Yeah.
I think that would be really powerful.
Yeah. I think for the user experience, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is something that we're missing. But
And even just confidence.
yeah.
I think, like Kaplan, Princeton, even Blueprint's starting to get that way. It's like, I've asked a lot of my co-residents how they studied, and it's always either Kaplan or Princeton. And I'm like, oh, why'd you pick it? And they're like, I didn't really think about it. That was just like what the people at my school did.
Yeah.
Then Kaplan's, the thing that everybody liked was their textbooks, which are kind of what we championed for them. And then they said it was nice to have the structure and accountability. They were saying that like their live sessions pretty much were just like more about someone just keeping you on your crap.
Yeah.
Rather than actually offering some kind of like tutoring like we used to do for people. And that was actually the same for Princeton. Like when I looked at Kaplan's and Princeton's, it felt like I was reading the same reviews, because it would be people loved how comprehensive their stuff was, and then some people would be like, it's way too much. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, Blueprint obviously stood out, but it was like they were just more engaging. Like even their website looked a lot better.
Yeah. And here's my thing about like Kaplan and Princeton, like their textbooks are very comprehensive. Can't argue that, but like, is that not a double-edged sword a lot of the time? Because we talk about all the time how people spend too much time on content.
Yeah.
And don't just go straight into questions, when really you can learn a lot of content from questions in a much more efficient way by learning how those concepts are tested. Because you don't need to know all the stuff that's in all 7 or 8 Kaplan books.
No, you don't. I mean, did you do any content review for step 2?
No, that's I mean, a lot of this I feel like is informed by some of the standardized tests that John and I have taken in medical school, which would be like step 1 and step 2. They're sort of the MCAT of medical school. And like, I didn't do any content review for step 2, definitely. And step 1 was like minimal. It was mostly just questions.
I think for step 1, I did a lot of content because I was learning it for the first time.
But you learn it like going through medical school, right?
Yeah, but my med school is weird.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, when I was doing step 1, I definitely didn't go like beginning of, first aid or whatever to the end. I like patched it with like videos from XYZ.
I'd never read content that I had already learned in medical school.
Right.
I think though, like the caveat, I do think you're probably gonna have to do some content review.
Oh, definitely.
For the MCAT, because
different.
because you're in med school that you have to commit all this crap to memory, so it's probably a little bit fresher on our minds. And B, like college is 4 years. Like step 1 was like you basically learned everything in 18 months, and it's med school, so you're like trying to remember it.
And med schools teach more or less to those step exams, whereas college is like, for one, everybody's different majors, and you're taking the prereqs, but even in your prereqs, like your professors aren't teaching those topics for you to be able to take them on the MCAT. So I agree, like content review is necessary for the MCAT. I just think it's a little overemphasized.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like the primary difference, I think you made a short about this the other day and somebody like snapped back, but your ability to apply the content to me felt much more important on the MCAT than it did on the step exams. Like I felt like for step 1, if you had the stuff memorized, you could smoke it, and for step 2, it was like I didn't even know half of the stuff. We both did good on pretty good, really good on step 2. Maggie still did better than me, but she studied half the time. But I just feel like step 2 was like, if you were a decent doctor, you were going to do decent on it.
Yeah, and it all made sense. But I mean, I think how I feel about content on the MCAT is that you're learning content. Everybody needs to do a content review pretty much, like full stop. At some point you need to do a content review. But you're probably studying for the MCAT at the same time that you're taking college classes, probably a full course load of college classes, and you're on sort of a tight timeline to take the MCAT. And so you don't need to be like wasting time, because when you're going through medical school, you're taking these questions that are in this style, in like that standardized test kind of format, for 2 years before you take step 1 and 3 years before you take step 2. So you're used to that style. But when you're like first starting out studying for the MCAT, you have to get used to that question writing style, like the AAMC type questions, because you've never seen anything like it before in your undergrad classes. So I think you need to get into that much earlier than what people typically do.
I agree. I think it's a great point. So how would we build, like knowing all this and what we currently have, how would we build the perfect MCAT prep course that would make, I don't know, because like perfect is like what's the goal?
Yeah, that was about
Because like
what
I think Kaplan and them do a really good job of teaching the exceptionally motivated to make a 520.
Yeah.
But that's not most people. I think the hard part is getting people that are like normal amounts of motivated or normal amounts of busy or abnormal amounts of busy. Maybe you're super motivated, but you're like in school and working. So that's kind of tough. Like getting those people to a 510 is kind of more important to me, and I guess you too. It's kind of like what we base the company around.
Yeah, we're trying to get people that are scoring in the 490s to get up to like a 510.
Yeah.
Like, because you can get into a medical school when you're at that school.
Yeah. The people that are already at like a 508.
Yeah.
Like I saw on Blueprint's website, they were advertising a 528 that they had, and then they put underneath it 12-point score jump.
Seriously?
I was like, somebody made a 516 on their diagnostic. He could have just farted into his hand for 3 months and scored a 528. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, my heart goes out to those people who are trying to like get to some target school. But you know, I feel like our materials are not necessarily built for those people specifically. We've tried to like capture, you know, we started out doing this for cohorts of rural students. So like we've just kind of stuck with that mission and kind of like trying to bring those people along.
So I think it's like the whole, you got to wrap the medicine in the ham, you know, like I really do think that what we have already is enough for students to score a 515. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they get the WMC tests with it, I think it is.
Yeah.
Especially now that WMC is dropping a new test.
That's true. We got to do that new test.
Yeah, we got to, when we will. We will do that new test.
But I think for the perfect MCAT program, what I would want is conversational language that bridges between high and mid-yield concepts. I think if you're trying to score in like the 520s or something like that, then you need those low-yield topics as well. But to me, that's one of those things that you don't have to read a whole textbook on low-yield topics. You can commit those smaller details to memory when you're taking questions and you get one wrong on a low-yield topic. To me, that's another power of questions.
So I think we do that pretty decently.
I think so too.
So I'm kind of plus or minus on whether we should write a full textbook.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I think if we did anything, it would be to expand on our high yield stuff to add more mid-yield topics.
Yeah, but we'll have to like make a differentiator because I don't want the high yield book to end up being 500 pages.
Yeah, I don't either. If anything, we might make like a mid-yield book or something.
Yeah, and I think if we did that, we could pull some of our chapters from our high yield. Because when we did the revision, I think we threw a lot of stuff in there because people were asking for it that's not high yield.
I think we did that too because some of those topics were great for kind of smushing in with actual high yield topics. Like
We for sure did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like teaching like that though.
I do too. I think it's much more helpful. I mean, I made a video a few weeks ago about like how you should learn content and how it's like you can learn the first 5 chapters of our book and understand the rest if you truly understand the first 5 chapters, I think.
I don't know what the first 5 chapters are.
It's like the solubility and Le Chatelier.
Oh, man, yeah.
Like kind of just the foundational like biochemical topics.
That was like how I used to tutor. I was
Acid
like, we're
base.
going to spend a lot of time on acid-base, solubility, and electronegativity. And if you've got that, like, you're going to have most of Gen Chem and OChem.
Yeah,
under your belt.
exactly.
Like if you can think, you
Yeah.
know. So plus or minus on that, I do
Yeah.
think like more of an all-in-one ecosystem would be helpful.
For sure.
So that would mean expanding on the chapters or writing a whole full textbook so that people didn't feel like they had to outsource content.
Yeah.
It would also mean providing them with the AAMC tests probably. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's kind
whatever.
of like you have to get them already.
Yeah, I mean, we can't integrate the AAMC website onto our
That we can.
onto our program or onto the perfect MCAT program or whatever. So
And if we buy them for them, then we just have to charge,
yeah.
like the price goes up then.
yeah, I mean Blueprint doesn't add, they
think-
have like AAMC. What?
I think they might buy them for them.
But they don't have them on their website.
Oh, no,
like,
yeah,
you have to
yeah.
go. So it's not like a convenient thing, I guess. It's never going to be like a convenient thing to get AAMC.
I think they only buy them for them and they're really expensive ones. That's what the company I used to work for did.
Yeah.
I think some of the analytics would be cool.
I do too.
Like I think it's fun to look at. And maybe there would be a gym, if you saw that you were always missing questions on solubility, like
Yeah. You just have to know how to like not waste time in them.
Yeah.
You can get lost in that sauce pretty easily.
But granted, UWorld already makes analytics, and that's where our questions would come from. So we probably just need to make videos for our students on how to better use the UWorld platform.
Yeah. That is a good idea.
And that way we don't have to spend freaking 50 grand getting an analytics thing built out,
50 grand at the very least.
Yeah, literally. Speaking of spending 50 grand, I really do think the adjustable study calendar.
That's pretty dope.
It's dope, and I think that it would actually be really helpful.
Yeah, having some kind of like scheduler built out, I think is something that a lot of students like, and I think it would be cool. Like if I was studying, I would think that was a cool perk.
Yeah, I would too.
So I think that, yeah,
Just have
definitely.
to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, because I don't want it. You don't want it to be further disconnected from our stuff.
No. We could probably, I'm sure we could integrate it like Cars U is integrated,
Yeah,
where it's like a launch button. But I mean, I don't know that anything that like pops up on your website without a launch button is going to work on Wix. I think you're either going to have to build the website, which we've seen what that is. Mm-hmm. Maybe Shopify could do it. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know either. All these people just like write their own websites, don't they?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, this is something we don't do. Some kind of live classes or coaching would be maybe helpful.
Yeah, like tutoring or like class tutoring.
So that's the thing, and that's something that y'all could help us out with. So there's a couple ways to hire MCAT tutors. You can hire like med students that did well on the MCAT, and they are affordable both for us and for you, because whatever, basically your price that we have to charge is just going to be whatever the tutor costs plus a couple bucks, so that we can pay like advertising and admin and like the people that edit the videos and stuff. But the problem with with a lot of the med student tutors is A, they're really busy and have sporadic schedules, and then B, some of them suck. Some of them are really good, some of them are probably better than me, but that's really hard to quality control,
Yeah.
because I can't sit there and watch every Zoom session.
Yeah.
So we can do that for a tutor. It's still going to be pretty expensive though, probably like $100 an hour. Or we could hire somebody good, like the 2 or 3 people we've talked about, and we know they're exceptional, and it would probably cost y'all like $200 an hour. Or we could do what I was texting you about today, and it's like, what are people really looking for in tutoring? Is it expertise in going through passages and things like that? Or have we already kind of outsourced that because of all the videos that we've made explaining all of it? And what people are really looking for in tutoring is accountability.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I made a lot of money tutoring, but I think what was most helpful for the students was just the fact that I would meet with them and be like, get your crap together.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
Yeah, because you can only do so much in an hour.
Yeah. And it's also not useful to come to a tutor and be like, can you teach me like this specific topic? Like, it's usually not a good use of your time, and you could find that information for free online.
Yeah.
I think a tutor is best it's both for accountability or for the student that doesn't know what they're doing wrong. And then I think it's helpful sometimes for a tutor to watch them go through a passage and be like, man, talk through the strategy, talk through this passage, tell me what results you pulled from this, interpret this figure, what is this question asking, what are these answer choices saying? Just talking through every part of dissecting a passage and answering a question correctly.
Yeah. And maybe we could maybe the course should be preloaded with accountabilities, like an accountability titrating up to 510. You could probably do that in a group setting. It would be so much more affordable for the students.
Agree. So But the question is, what would you guys like want? You know, like, do you only see value in one-on-one tutoring, or do you see value in group tutoring? Because like we do, and we were tutors.
And then the last thing that I think would be kind of help build out the perfect program is, I think a score guarantee would. It's hard because it's like, you know, if I know you know, but I'm just kind of saying it for people watching. It's like, if you have the best celebrity personal trainer in the world and you work out really hard when you're with them, but then when they're not there, you shovel a bunch of Twinkies, like, you're going to stay fat, right? And it's really hard to offer a score guarantee, because if somebody doesn't do the work outside of tutoring, what does a 1 hour a week session means nothing whenever I would expect a student to study for 30 or 40 hours on their own.
Yeah, which is probably why some of these larger companies have score guarantees where you have to check all these boxes, and it's a ton of like busy work. It's so that it forces you to do something outside of like the tutoring sessions.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, but it's also like really frustrating if you didn't check the box that you watched one video and so you didn't get any money back, and you kind of were like depending on that a little bit.
I feel like that's the exception to the rule, though.
I think it is too.
Because I think a lot of people buy a course with a score guarantee and then still only put in like, you know, 50% of the required effort.
Yeah.
And they're like, I didn't get my score guarantee. And those people didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But the ones that, you know, get it and they do even 90% of everything, maybe we could do something like that. Like maybe our fine print is like you do, I don't know, because what if like the 10% they didn't do was like amino acids?
Yeah, I don't know. Score guarantees are tricky.
But I think they're important because I think they increase buy-in.
Yeah.
Like, I just think if you can trust the program, then that prevents you from flip-flopping to several different programs.
Yeah, and it may give you some sort of incentive to like study. I think it probably gives you incentive to study for the first couple of days and maybe the last couple of days. I think you probably forget about it in between.
And we could like send reminder emails.
Or that could be if we had some sort of accountability guru, then they could bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, you got money riding on this? I don't know.
Yeah. That's true though. Because I mean, that's a good carrot. Like, hey, I know you don't like doing your cars drills. You got to do them.
Yeah.
Because A, it's going to help you, and B, if you don't do them, you're not going to qualify for the guarantee.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, anything else you can think of? And then obviously the basic stuff that like we already have, which would be content, passage practice, car specific practice, and then strategies.
And full-length exams.
Full-length exams, yeah. For now, I don't know. We're working on something already. I feel like this video went a little bit too long. So,
a lot.
Yeah, we kind of got to chat. But I appreciate you watching. If you liked the videos with Maggie and I, then comment below that she should rank Wake Forest #1. And then also what I really want you to do is I want you to comment what your thoughts are. Even if you think it might be dumb, please like comment what you would like to see in a course. If you heard something you really like, or you know something that we're already doing that you really like, then put that. If you have taken a prep course, well, maybe one of the ones we talked about, and they did something great, tell us. If they did something poorly, tell us. Because I really do want to build the ultimate MCAT course. And the only way we can do that is with your feedback.
Yeah. The hardest part about making a good MCAT course is that we have no control over how you guys use it. So let us know what makes an MCAT course easy to use. Like, we want these things to be easy and as enjoyable as studying for the MCAT can be, and as efficient as they can be, because we know that this isn't you guys' life.
If you are about to start studying for the MCAT and you just have no clue where to start, then we have an employee that I spent over a month training, Maggie and I did, on how we would answer questions and how we would coach people to get their score. So book a free meeting with him. His name's Damon, and he's great. We'll have some reviews popping up on the screen right now. And that link will be the first one in the description. Thanks for watching.
See you in the next one.
Oh, you look so much taller, bro. You got the torso of 1,000 men.
You love doing this.
You love doing this. like we were talking.
Oh, like we were talking? Yeah.
Okay.